Welcome back to Factorio. I'm the 80s Gamer, and in the last episode, we were building our first frigate. We spent 2 episodes building the frigate, and then I was like, look, I'm going to just finish the ship without you guys, just so that you didn't have to watch me kind of do some of the tedious nature of the ship. So, ship is done, and I wanted to give you, or close to done, there's a couple things we could do. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a tour, and yeah, then let's talk about what's working, what's not working, and some stuff to help you build ships if that's something that you're interested in doing, if you're enjoying the game and want some tips and ideas and thoughts. So let's start at the bottom. This is pretty much all ended up all pretty much like we had discussed. One thing that I am thinking about doing is adding some more arms down the side. I haven't decided about that. I definitely feel like I want one on this side at least, and we can do that together here in a minute. But we've got basically 3 fuel tanks, with the idea being that we can go fast so that we have 7 engines. They are connected to these here pumps, although the pumps are not yet tied to anything. So we will need to do that as well. Let's do that before we forget, actually. So can they reach to each other? They do not. We need to, talk. I think we can use these as jumps. There we go. Okay, cool. And now how's that work? Well, we tell it we want to read the speed, and it's going to be on letter V. Then we come down here to the pump, and we enable disable, and we go to letter V. Here. We're going to get this 0 and enable disable, so it's enabled if it's less than 300. Let's limit ourselves to 300. So they're working. And then we're going to copy this and paste that. And they're turned on. And where we go. So, yeah, basically this was all working like we wanted it to. We're using the new fuel recipe. So we need to have calcite and iron to make the blue stuff. And we need calcite and carbon to make the orange stuff. And we're getting there. We have about, 30,000 in the tank, each tank, which is great. Water's a little bit of a problem. We do not have excess ice. We have the ammo belt going around. On the back of the ship here, we're feeding, we have a couple turrets, and we're feeding some, rocket turrets. Idea here is that we're hoping that this is enough of a ship that can handle Aquilo, but we don't know it. I don't know that to be true. And that's it for the back. Again, we have 1 arm. I might want to bring a second arm over to here so we can handle it. But midships, we've got 4 turrets protecting the middle of the ship. Hopefully that's enough. And 3 turrets on each side. So to handling the small ones, you can see these little icons on there mean that they're filtering. So they're filtering to shoot big ones. And then we're using the central storage here to manage it. We're storing 200 of each of the core things because we have plenty of room for storage. So I'm not worried about it. So we're storing 200 of the iron, 200 of the carbon, 200 of the calcite, and we would be storing the ice, but we're not right now. Now, the top of the ship is where all the excitement happens. So we feed those things on from our sushi belt, and we are using a sushi belt where processed materials are on the inside and the raw asteroids are on the outside. Mostly, I think I probably have a mistake or two in there. So then these 4 are grabbing things off the belt and feeding them into the central storage to maintain that 200, and they are wired in within a circuit. So we use the wire, we tie them in, and basically, enabled or disabled if less than 200. So pretty straightforward, just an enable, disable, and then you pick what you want it to be. I've attached them all to here. You can daisy chain them, so they're all daisy chained together, and then the last one is in there. This last one is a what do you want to throw away? So this is I made a little route for being able to throw away stuff that ends up in the central storage that we don't want. There's this 2-handed inserter that puts it on this belt, takes it over here, and this guy ejects it. So then we don't have any of those. Although I bet he doesn't reach the end anymore, because I think, yeah, look at that. So let's kill those for now. I was potentially building a path for bringing another arm on the right side, so we can do that. We have 2 ammo makers fed by 4 furnaces. We suck off the iron off of here, off of this belt. This thing is told it pulls off, basically tries to keep this belt full, but not too full. And that ice got by. That's a surprise, considering that we don't have enough water, so I'm sad to see ice go past. This guy says he's waiting for source items, but whatever. Okay. Then we have our rocket production right here. Now, rockets are fed, uh, basically, we need explosives and iron bars. So when an explosive gets made, it pops down here, and you'll see what's going on with that in a second. These guys are short sulfur. That's what's happening. So they get some sulfur, they make some explosives, they go down into the rocket makers. Those guys make rockets, and rockets go into the ammo belt. We have rockets on one side and regular ammunition on the other. The explosives are a little bit tricky. They require coal and sulfur, and so we have two coal makers here. You make coal with water, sulfur, and carbon. So we have two of them. Right now they're fine, and just shortage of. We're having trouble getting enough carbon asteroids to feed them. Then these guys right here are making the iron plates that are necessary for the rockets. At one point, it might have made sense to try to share furnaces, but it's not how we designed it, or not how I designed it. Now, here's the crushers. We have 4 crushers crushing the carbonic asteroids. 3 of them are crushing using the recipe that creates sulfur, and 1 is crushing to just create carbon. My thinking on that was that these 3 would power the rockets, and the coal would make explosives with coal, and this last one would be used to make fuel. It's not actually working out that way, but that's just because I don't think we have enough carbon in the system. These 2 are just making iron. You could make iron and copper, but I have no use for copper at this moment. Technically, we could have a whole discussion about whether or not a ship should make carbon and steel and red ammo instead of, you could make all the way up to red ammo instead of yellow ammo in space. But I think I'm going to save red ammo for like the battleship class. So the next class up will make red ammo. So we're learning about stuff, and that'll be how we do that. On this side over here, we're processing ice shards into what they make, which is they give us ice and calcite, and so we're feeding these onto those belts, and it's going on the inside, and it's getting used. And apparently, we're not sucking these up, although I don't know why. Waiting for source. Okay, but you're not actually picking them. Oh, that's for out this guy. This guy is target's full. Okay, you're full. He is full because he has his calcite one is not dropping. We're not dropping calcite. Oh, interesting. We're only keeping 50 calcite on the board at the moment, and okay. Disabled by controlled behavior. What is he doing? He's reading the number of thing on there. Fascinating. Can we say bring the calcite number down to 40? Interesting problem. So what that's saying is there's 40 calcite on there, so we're not processing ice. It's not something I thought about. Like calcite's now going past, and he's because he's filtering. You're allowed to pick up calcite too. So he's active, but he's not actually dumping it. There he goes. He'll dump some calcite. Then we'll put calcite on the thing, but we're not getting enough ice, I think, is the problem. Yeah, there we go. There's some ice coming out. We want to make sure that ice is going, because ice feeds the water makers up here, which is pretty critical for making rockets, and super critical right now. All the ice is going to get sucked up into making for water. This inserter here is set to turn on when there's less than, I think, 1,000 water here. And this water is used to make the explosives. So we're doing okay in terms of rockets, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, rockets actually we don't have a control on rockets. They just are completely put in there. I wonder if we should do that. It's an interesting dilemma. Maybe we need we need to do something like that. Yeah, let's do that. So then this is tied to here. Can we read the... How many rockets are there on the belt right now? Enable disable if military yellow rockets. There's 379. Let's do less than 350. Okay, so that'll keep him 350 rockets on the belt. Looks pretty full. That'll allow us to have a buffer here. Are these guys all empty now? He's empty. 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 Okay, so that's working out. There's probably too big. Maybe 20 is probably fine. No. I'll let there be 35 on the belt. Probably we should do something like enable disable if, if not, it's dead. But ammunition looks good. Ammunition should have a control on it. Let's see, that's down here. Ammunition is made here. It's this belt right here. What's he looking for? Yeah, so he's, it holds it at 600, 600 ammunition on the belt. That's what we're currently set at. It looks pretty good. We don't have any big gaps in ammunition. Looking pretty solid. That probably means we can do the same thing for rockets. So 600 is the right number. So let's find the rocket one that we were just messing with, and this can be 600. Okay. We're not planning on flying anywhere where we're going to need those, so that's fine. So all good there. All right. I think I've all right. So I explained all that at the front of the. I guess we guys sort of got stopped here at the front. So we have four gun turrets on the left and only 3 on the right. I don't know how it got out of symmetry, but we're just not gonna be stressed about it. 2 rocket turrets up front here at the very front, and then a little farther back. So we have a total of 6 turrets at the front, which I hope is enough. I do not know. Because again, we have more midship turrets here covering us, so we have a fair amount of rocket coverage. I hope. I don't really know how many. I don't know how many rockets it takes to destroy a thing. So now let's talk about the circuit network, and because some people have asked about that. So let's talk about this. So there's 2. I know they're kind of next to each other, but these 4 combinators are what control the amount of. They control how many of each asteroid type is on the sushi belt. And they all work exactly the same way. And basically, we're using green wires on the input side and red wires on the output side. So all of these green wires are just tied to the sushi belt itself to read its contents. And each one of these works exactly the same way. We just have to have one for each, and I'll explain why in a minute. So what we're basically saying is this one is it reads, remember, it's reading the contents of the belt, so it's seeing that there's, and I picked this, right? I went in here and I picked this asteroid. So it says there's 61 on the belt, and and I want it to be enabled, there's less than 50. So that means I want at least 50 of these asteroids on the belt. When there is 50 on the belt, it's going to send out this signal. And what this signal is sent to on the red wire is the inserter that takes that type of asteroid out of the asteroid collector and puts it on the sushi belt. And this inserter is set to have a filter set. So it is getting its filters from the circuit network. So whatever signals that get sent, so right now, if we were to send here, let's pick one that's green. Let's use the carbonics. So the carbonic asteroid, there is only one, way less than 50. So it is outputting, so it's green, its condition is green, So it is sending one output signal of a carbonic asteroid. So it's sending this signal. This is being outputted. And then that signal goes across the red wire and ends up here. And since we're setting the filters based on the signal, it's getting a signal for carbonic asteroids, which means, hey, I'm supposed to be on, and I'm going to pick up. It's basically enable disable, because when you have filters turned on but nothing filtered, then that's basically off. So it's going to then it's going to pull these out of the storage of its arm. So if we look here, this guy doesn't have any, so he can't pull it out, but it's turned on and it would. And right now, the sushi belt is asking for, right? We can think of it as asking. It has only a little bit of ice, and it has none of this Promethean yet. But I said it, so that's for later. This ship is supposed to be able to go into space where we might encounter those, I think. Okay, now, using these 4 combinators, or 3 if you want to ignore the Promethean, hooked to the inserters coming off of the asteroid collectors, you can control how many get put on the belt, because basically it only picks up the ones you want it to, right? So when there's less than 50, this picks up, and they're all, on every single one of these, are all wired together. They're all connected to the same red wire. It's just strung all the way around the base, it goes all the way down, and just trust me, it loops all the way around. Okay. It comes up here, and it goes to this one, and it goes to this one, and it goes. That's why they all have the exact same thing. Now, one thing I didn't know that I figured out between episodes is if you can't reach, so from these 2 inserters, from this one to this one, it's a very easy short left. But if I want to get all the way to the next inserter, I can't reach all the way there. But you can attach it to a belt, say, to the belt, and then continue, and then you just don't set anything. See, there's nothing set, so this doesn't actually do anything. It just puts a little place for you to hook the wire. So it's like a wire stick. So you don't have to use power poles, because right here I'm using a power pole. You don't have to do it that way. You can just attach it to anything and then just not turn it on. So they all go around. Now, all great. The next thing you need to be able to do is you want to control how many. You don't want the asteroid collector to fill up with, let's say, iron, like this one is. Got iron, right? There's all this iron. We do not want it to fill up with iron, right? And if all of these gets filled up, then even if a carbon chunk goes by, it can't pick it up. So these guys have filters, and we're setting these filters. But how do we limit it? You could try to do enable disable. The challenge with enable disable is you would need to have another 4 of these, right? And doing essentially exactly the same thing. And when I tried to do it, I had this problem that because I was setting the filters, it was kind of like feeding back into itself in a way that I couldn't quite control. So I'm doing something a little bit sneaky. And let me try to explain it to you, maybe not on this arm, using this constant combinator and this very special setup with the decider combinator. So a constant combinator allows you to send out anything you want. You pick the signal, right? So I picked the asteroids, and I just picked one, and I went to space, and I picked this asteroid, and I picked out what do I wanted to send out. So I wanted to send out one of each of these. So you have to remember that for a second. This is sending out one of each of these to whatever I attach it to. And then I attached it to the entrance of this constant combinator using the red wire. So what he's getting is he's getting red. This is the red on his red wire where it's plugged in, that constant combinator, one of all these. Okay. Now his green wire is getting the contents. So I attached with a green wire. So this at the beginning, at the entrance, it has red and a green. The green wire comes from here. And this guy we were setting filters and reading the contents, which I'll explain in a second. So on the green wire, we're getting the contents of the individual arm, and we need one of these for every individual arm to control this the way we want to, because we want 13 of each asteroid type. Okay, because there's that would give us 39. Well, technically if you had 4, I would go over, but we only have these 3 right now, which would give us 39, 13 of each of these types. Now, this star, right, evaluates each condition individually, right, to pass the signal. So what he's doing is he is less than or equal to 13, any of these, then you send it out. So less than or equal to 13, we have 13 of these. So for this one, it is, so that it's not completely green, but what's happening is we are, for this one, and this one, we have less than 13 of those. So we are outputting these signals. Okay, so we're outputting a carbon, a oxalate, and a promethium. That's what we're sending out. And on the out, on this red wire, which goes back to the arm, we're setting the filter. So you can see now that we have 13 of these in here, it's not going to pick them up because it's filtering not for those. Now, unlike an inserter, asteroid chunk filters, I don't think this will completely turn it off. So when they get 13, I think I'm a little bit worried about what's going to happen. I don't think, because there's no like enable filters, I think it will fill up. It'll stop having any filters and it'll just pick up whatever, I think. But here's the key. We kind of care. But each of these is 10, so 39 would be to here. And this last one, no, 39 is to here. There is no more room. So even though there won't be any filters, they won't be, there's nothing else for it to pick up. And we've guaranteed it will have a buffer of each of the kinds we want because it's not picking up any more iron. So now these remaining spaces are going to be one of these, right? And it's not going to be Promethean. So it's going to be one of these two. So in theory, this should allow us to have a buffer, not on our sushi belt, of each of the types of asteroids. But this setup has to be replicated for every single arm. So this arm has its own little set of combinators, all hooked up the same exact way. And they're just kind of stashed all over. So that's a long explanation, like a super long explanation, of the ship. And at this point, we are pretty much ready to go to Fulgora with it, which was what I wanted to do because I wanted to see if we could get some better arms for the front. See if we have some higher class arms for the front. So yeah, that's my goal. And let's see how she flies for her maiden voyage. So that's what we're going to do. Come down here to the front. We're going to add a station. Which technically we could go to Aquilo. I don't want to do that yet. And we're going to tell it to go. And let's see how we do. We won't encounter any of the big asteroids, so we should only see the littler guns firing, which is fine. And yeah, pretty much what I would like to do is get test out the ship and get some see if we can get some better arms from Fulgora. Now the first thing I see happening is our speed seems to have cut out. Is that because we don't have enough fuel? How did I screw this up? Well, this is why we're testing it. I expected red fuel to go all the way through. No, it does have red fuel all the way through. This guy has blue fluid all the way through. Oh. But they don't have red and blue fluid. Blue flows all the way through to here, but red only goes to... Ah, okay, so only this one has both. Well, that was good. We learned something. Do I want to turn around? Or do I want to go to Fulgora? I guess I want to go to Fulgora. Let's see how everything's doing here in a minute. We'll deal with... We're going to go super slow, so I'm not worried about it. Getting some good ice, which is nice. Guns are having no trouble dealing with asteroids. Nice. Yeah, I definitely would like arms. I'd like to have two arms. I think that would be better for gathering resources. Seeing good stuff there. A really nice ice production, which we were short on before, so it's great to see ice on the center belt. We're a little bit short on carbon too, so hopefully we'll see carbon doing good. Yeah, really great. We're gonna fill that sushi belt up. 50 might be too many. It's a pretty big belt. Perfect. Good test for things. Now, the back guns shouldn't be firing. The back arms are not engaged at the but I guess they're doing some work. But a lot of iron asteroids. We'll have more work for those guys once we get a little bit further. But yep, we're gonna have to redesign the back of the ship a little bit. Not a big deal. That's why we test it. We don't claim to be perfect at this, so yeah. Looks like we are only short ice at the moment, so there, the arms will pick up everything, but we're only putting ice onto the main belt at the moment. And once we hit 50 of all the different types, which we could, be great. Stopped at Fulgora, we made it. It should stop putting anything on the belt. There we go. All right, so now that we're stopped, we should start needing to have coverage on all the areas. And I was interested about this power. What's the situation with power? How bad is it? Accumulators are going down. We are not meeting the needs of our... solar does not work well enough here. Let's get another one down. Kind of think I want 3 more panels here. Alright. That's probably still not enough power, but how bad is it? Man, we are gonna... Oof, we're hanging in there barely. Okay. So now we should start having asteroids come from the sides. Good to see. Sushi belt looks full and busy. That's great news. Excuse me. Rocket terminals are working. Explosives are backing up. It's good. We've got some good, nice buffers there. Ammunition is what I was expecting to see working hard, and it is. Yeah, we're dropping iron ore onto the belt, and we're probably making fuel on the backside, it looks like. Yep, definitely. Okay, but we are going to have a power shortage, it seems like, relatively quickly. As things turn on and off, we're definitely running into it, and we do not have sufficient water on the backside, although we do have fuel. So, how are we going to fix this? We need this blue fuel down here, and I do not know how I'm going to do that. Because even if I feed it in, I did not think about this at all. Wow. It's going to be a little bit painful to reconfigure this. All right, let's figure it out. Let's do a couple things before we do this, though. Can we get down to Fulgora? How bad are you? You're out of storage, which means everything's going to be stopped. You are. Oh, man. This is a cop-out. What is overriding us on Fulgora? Iron plates. Yeah, I would really like to... I had this idea that we could make high-quality engines on Fulgora, but I haven't actually spent any time here doing that, even though I think it would be a really good use of resources. We could use a bunch of concrete if we stuck this guy up here. I don't know if we have any free construction bots, but they'll try. All right, so what we're supposed to be doing is seeing about high-quality arms. What do we have? We have 10 awesome quality arms. Okay, very cool. And we have 5 super arms. Okay. We go to the freighter, and can we launch them by hand? That's a question. I want to put stuff in here. How do I do it? How do I put stuff in the rocket? How do I manually load the rocket platform? Okay, your auto request, your auto request. Okay, so they're all capable of launching. They're just not. Well, let's see. If we come here, auto request for construction. So if we request a arm of greater quality, and we stick it right on top of here and here, will we get it? Yes. It says we will. He loaded 10. We don't have 10 of the super arms. We have tier 3 quality modules. Yeah, there's legend. Whoa. We have a purple. Oh, it's an epic. It's a. We have 50 epic blue 2s. Okay. Where do we make those arms? We make them here. So can I do blue 2s and go? Does that work? Yes, that did work. Interesting. Okay. I would like to make epic quality loaders. You can make them too. Okay, so how do we get this up to space with less than 10? I can't. Can I? Can I put like? Can't manually insert cargo with automatic. Okay, turn that off. How? 2, 3, 3, 10. Make them go away. Getting the idea. I would like 3 of them. I think that says it can deliver 1. See if that works. I'd like 3 across the front. That's my goal. There. Deliver that to Frigate 1. Can you do it? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Awesome. Awesome. Do we have fancy storage I can deliver to? Where's the guy who makes storage? This guy. Yeah, I want. This is kind of fun. I want legendary. These guys. I want to go like this. I want a higher chance of awesome storage units. How many of these do I have? I got plenty of this. Okay. if we go to Frigate 1, yep, very cool. If we go to Frigate 1, and I go to build, I go space, I go yellow, can I... 6, 7. Okay, are you requesting 10? You are. Awesome. Okay, we have 3 of these. How do I pick them up? Don't want to drop them back into space. I think what I do is I go here and I go legendary. Not legendary, they're just rare. And I go 1, 2, 3. And then look at the size of that. She said. If we do green quality, and I want you to... Wait, what happened? This green quality, and we rotate it. Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No more. Okay, that's all good. Yeah, look at this. Look at those epic quality ones. Are great. They have more storage too. Okay, so higher quality has more storage. It says almost 45. Nice. Okay. Well, this is what I wanted to gather from here, I think. All of these guys have been buffed. Yep. Okay. Anything I want to drop from the universe? No. I guess we could recycle them. We don't need more junk on Volgora. Is there anything else we want from Volgora before we go back and try to figure out stuff that's wrong? We have rare quality motors. That's what I was sort of hoping to make. Overall looks fine. We have tons of holmium, tons of rocket fuel. I was gonna make an engine maker. If we could design, did you guys all did the planet get paved? Looks like it did. Okay. Here, pave the planet. Biggest issue is 224,000 concrete and oh man, all those iron plates. We should be like demolishing those somewhere, but I don't know where. At least I thought we were. Looks like that's supposed to be built out too, but it's not. And this train does nothing because I'm guessing this is empty. Yep. How's everything over here on this side of the world? This is the scrap processing. It's okay. It's not the best, but looks like it's hanging in there. There's some scrap over there. Yeah, you guys are totally dead. Someday we'll go back to Fulgor and deal with that. We're making modules. Is there anything I want to send? I mean, these... Wow, we have 2 epic quality 2s. That's amazing. These guys, we have a ton of regulars. Wow. Some epics. Is he just universally... Oh, he is. He's universally making these. Overrode them. This doesn't hurt us at this point. What are you doing? You're making level 3 quality modules. And why are you stuffed? Greater than normal is the outbound. This isn't full. Your problem is, oh, you have regulars. That's this guy. Oh, I bet this is full. Yep. Okay. Well, that's solvable, I think. Can we... oh, power. Okay. Power. That's what caused that to end. Okay. Rocket fuel seems okay, although not great. This will restart the recycler. And away we go. Okay. We have a few epic qualities of things, which is exciting to see. And yeah, pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, is there anything else we want to bring, I guess was the question. And those quality, these were pretty neat. I mean, 50 epic quality 2s. These are quality 3s. How many quality 3s do we have? What if we took, what if we took 100 3 points, okay? Yeah, can we send those up? Which of these is it? This one. So it's these guys. This. Can you put 50 in? How much does it weigh? I think we can get, no, 50 is all it takes. Alright, I want to send another 50 up. We're just going to drop these off at home, basically. Yep. Is there anything else we want to send? 39,000 chips. I mean, we got one can take so many of those. Urban chips. What's the rocket capacity? 300, I think. That sounds right. This guy's still something out. Send another. Send it that way. Wait till it's fully available. Doesn't hurt, right? That's my thinking. We have tons of them. Send that one to me. %70 done. Almost good to go. How many of these I want to send? The time the rocket animation finishes, we're still taking time just to be able to get it deliver cargo. All right, we still got to sort out the ship. So, come on. Let's do this one. 1, 2, 3. go. Switch back into automatic. Let's go back to the ship. What do we got? It doesn't have a good way to tell what's inbound, does it? Here it comes. Yep, doesn't look like it. Okay, we gotta go back to novice and try to figure out how we are going to fix. I think this is probably a pretty good place to call it an episode, so thank you so much for watching, and we will fix these engines, and I will see you in the next one.